Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. This is kind of just like a little follow-up story to something that I talked about last week. Max Kellerman is officially off of ESPN's First Take. They have officially made that announcement. He will head to the mornings with Jay Williams and Keyshawn Johnson. He's going to replace Zahinti, who's going back to SportsCenter. You know, this was something that we talked about. We knew it was going to come. You know, if the reports were out there from the New York Post, they knew something. Stephen A. Smith's got 4 years, like a lot of money left on his contract right now. I'll just leave it at that. A lot of money on his contract. We're talking $40, $50, $60 million left on his contract. At the end of the day, when you're in that position of power at ESPN, and I've talked to you guys about stories in the past, I'm not going to repeat them from what I said the other day, but at the end of the day, Stephen A., he's popping it right now. He walks around knowing he's a big portion in why ESPN is successful right now. He gets it. He's using his leverage. I love seeing Stephen A. boss up and walk around with the big boy britches on at ESPN. I love it just because he put the work in. Like, this ain't no dude that ever cheated the process. He put the work in. And apparently we're finding out, according to the New York Post, it was Stephen A. who wanted Max off of First Take. That is the new development. Again, as of right now, we had thought this was maybe an ESPN higher-up decision. Hey, we don't think Max and Stephen A. are getting along. Let's make a change. We're not hearing that anymore. This is apparently a Stephen A. Smith decision. And sometimes I tend to like kind of fall back when I hear a report about a person's specific thoughts without them coming out and saying it. But in this case, I actually believe this story about the New York Post because it goes with whatever I've seen. And if y'all know me and y'all been following this platform, I've said this since day one. The day that Skip left ESPN's First Take, it felt like Stephen A. just didn't like doing that show with Max. And the report is that Max Kellerman had a smartest guy in the room type of feel to him. And Stephen A. didn't like it. He wanted something else. Will they go in the direction of Stephen A. versus the world, which is similar to his show that he has on ESPN Plus? I don't know. I could see that happening. I personally don't like that move. I think they need to go get a real co-host that can challenge Stephen A. And apparently that's what he wants. I don't think Stephen A. felt like, I don't believe he felt like the fans bought into Max Kellerman the way he needs to. Again, keep in mind, like I told y'all the other day, Stephen A. did this debate-style stuff because of Skip Bayless. He told me that at breakfast the one time we did it. And when Skip left, Stephen A. became the guy at ESPN. He was already a big shot, but he was the guy at that point in multiple lanes, specifically number one being debate television. He's looking around like, yo, this is a lot of work. Like, they want me to be him, and him, and I need somebody that feels it. And I just felt like Stephen A. didn't like the way Max Kellerman approached topics. And then we can get really in depth with this, right? I'll stay right here really quickly. Skip Bayless is the greatest ever at this debate television thing. And I don't mean I agree with his takes. I rarely ever agree with anything Skip Bayless says. But what I mean by that is he is just great at his job. He is great at this Terrell Owens, LeBron James, Hayden, Dallas Cowboy loving debate thing. He is what does Shannon Sharp call him? The forefather of this. Like, he is the godfather of debate television. He's just great at what he does. Whatever it is that you like or don't like about Skip, he's great at it. And Max was not as great as Skip was about it. He wasn't as great in regards to developing teams that he liked, teams that he didn't like. Obviously, Max didn't have the disdain for the New York Knicks. He didn't have the disdain for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, how you going to have a show if Max and Stephen A. don't necessarily hate/love opposite teams? Right? It ain't going to work like that. You need those type of protagonist, antagonist type relationships to make the show float. They didn't have that. Keep that in mind with whoever they go get next. I wouldn't be surprised if they go get one guy, which I doubt they do, but if they do it, it'll probably either be a person that is really a really big Dallas Cowboy lover, or maybe like a big Los Angeles Lakers fan, or like a big New York Knicks hater. It's going to be something like that. By the way, if you are a Dallas Cowboy lover and you either work with ESPN or potentially could make the jump to ESPN in the upcoming future, you better get your fish in your ducks in a row. Your fish in the sea, you better get them lined up. Like, this could be your moment. I'm telling you. Obviously, football is the biggest thing in debate television. It's talked about the most. I know the NBA is great. ESPN obviously has a lot of contracts and a big deals, big money with the NBA. I get it, but trust me, that bread and butter is football. If you are a Dallas Cowboy fanatic right now that could fill that role that Skip Bayless left, this could be your moment. Like I'm talking about if you love the Dallas, I'm serious about this. Let's be real. If you are probably a white guy, mid-50s, 60s, and you love the Dallas Cowboys, your agent needs to be on the phone with ESPN like yesterday. Obviously, they're going to try to fit certain norms, societal norms, white guy versus black guy. Like, just call a spade a spade. It's just, come on now, y'all know I just keep it real, right? And if they could find a Dallas Cowboy fan to go against an anti-Cowboy guy, also he's a Steelers fan, that is what they would love. If they can't find it, they probably will go with ESPN and Stephen A. Smith versus the world. That'll probably be the setup of the show. But if they can find that, whoo, boy, you are in for a payday. You are in for life-changing money. If you fit that norm, since we're now finding out that ESPN, it didn't come from them. Stephen A. told ESPN that I wanted something else. I could see him thinking that Max is a guy that feels like he knows everything in the room. And I actually think Max is a very humble guy. I never met Max, but from what I think, I actually think he's a humble guy. But I just knew that wasn't going to go over well with Stephen A. All this, let's get into it. Like, all this, a lot of times when they're doing race-related issues, what would end up happening is it's a reverse psychology type of ordeal, right? Like, it usually will end up with Stephen A. Let's say an athlete was on weed and got caught with weed. Stay off the weed. It'll be a situation where Stephen A. would say, yo, that black athlete was in the wrong, while Max would come to the defense of said black athlete. So in theory, you got Stephen A. looking bad to his black community. And I'm skipping Stephen A. used to do it better than how Max and Stephen A. did it. I'm just being real with y'all, you know. I think that probably was a big part in Stephen A. wanting something else. I don't think he wants to be looked at by his own community like that. Stephen A., for those who don't know, does a lot with HBCUs and all that. That's not what he wants with his brand. And when you're making the money that Stephen A. is making right now, his opinion matters. His voice matters. His perspective matters. What he wants matters. And pretty much everybody has fell from that ESPN domino. And Stephen A. Smith, the great, remains. And he will continue to remain with their new co-host in the fall. Next month, you will see somebody new in that desk across from Stephen A. Smith.